Ear biscuits. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link. It's live at VidCon. And this is also our 100th Ear Biscuit, so it's very special to be sharing it with all of you guys live, and of course everyone else who's just listening, Mythical Beast, who's listening with your biscuited ears right now in the comfort of your own.
Well, you don't know where they're at. Don't make assumptions about where they're at.
Driving on a beautiful scenic cliffside.
Keep going.
Highway. Keep your eyes on the road and your ears on us.
You were a little bit late.
I was coming out.
I wanted to meet in the middle and do something interesting.
I know, and then I was just running. Running to catch up.
But I see you brought your computer, so did I.
I brought my laptop. There's some questions on the laptop.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who submitted questions. We're going to try to get through as many as we can, but we just really like to talk, and it's very difficult for us to get through many, so we're going to move at a faster pace than we normally do. Hopefully, should make promises.
And this is a round table. It's not exactly ours, but I'm comfortable enough with its roundness.
It's not very dim, though. You guys are a little dim. We're not as dim as we like to normally be when we do this kind of thing, so it may get a little awkward.
But it's because we're still going to speak intimately. Let's get to some questions.
Yeah, let's do that, man. So are you.
That dude, he just said I was amazing.
Oh.
Well, you know what? You're amazing too.
That's right.
I'll bounce a little bit of that compliment over to you.
Okay, here's a question from Mythical Samantha. If y'all could be anything for a day, what would you be and why?
If I could be anything for a day, oh, sorry, I need to drink from this.
Clear it out, man. Clear it out.
Biscuit branded jar.
It's not for sale yet, though, is it?
I'm a little
Oh, okay, you should plug it then.
I think I would be a snake for a day. Have you seen them move?
Yeah, a few times.
They're legless, and I mean, you can watch a snake move, but until you've been a snake, how are you going to know what that feels like? The slithery nature of being a snake, I think, is something that I would like to experience. Furthermore, you scare people just by being you.
But I think we can probably do this. If you want to get in a sleeping bag and have me take you up, and you could just slither around. I mean, that can be arranged.
You wonder
if
how
you really want to know what it feels like to be a snake, I can help you with that.
You wonder how we come up with episodes of Good Mythical Morning. This is it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can take you up. I mean, a little duct tape and sleep bag goes a long way.
Right. Yeah.
That is no.
Well, we have been in a sleeping bag together. I think actually on our show, not like personal time.
Or like last night.
Yeah. We have separate rooms.
Right.
Separate rooms and beds.
My family's here.
Yeah, my family didn't want to come. Yeah. More of my family is coming into town, so my family didn't want to come down here.
But when you stumble upon a snake, like the other day on the set of Buddy System, there was a big crowd of people, and I was like, oh, am I in the wrong place? They must be shooting over there. So I went over there, and then all of a sudden, and one of the guys like pulled up a snake that was this long. And it was one of those non-poisonous types. I guess he knew that. And he was the most popular guy in the whole zone. And I'd love to be able to bring that to somebody. It's like, you know what? If you got the guts to pick me up, you can be the most popular person in the zone. For a day.
That's a weird reason to want to be a snake. So you can make a dude feel good because he picks you up in front of a group of people?
Yeah.
So you're an empath.
I'm an empath. What would you be?
Anything? I could be anything?
For one day.
I would be the atmosphere. I could experience all things on Earth
at once.
Being breathed in and breathed out. Farted out too. I haven't thought through this. I should have thought about this before I answered the question. I don't know. I think I want to be omnipresent. That's what I just realized. I think
God.
Yeah, I think I've got something wrong with me. I'm reading a book about how the ego is bad, though. You should be happy about that.
I am happy about it. Start applying it. Then I'd be really happy. Next question. Penguin in a Pumpkin asks, how much do you exaggerate the grossness of food for entertainment?
This is a question that many of you may have wondered about. I actually have a friend of mine who, well, okay, my friend of mine, she teaches a Pilates class that I'm in.
Don't be friends with your Pilates instructor.
Well,
I'm
just trying
you don't
to,
want that kind of overlap.
I'm just trying to cover.
Okay, so
My
she's not
Pilates
your friend.
instructor,
She's just total Pilates
who
instructor.
has children,
Nothing else.
right? And she was talking about, oh, I finally figured out what you do. My kids showed me your videos.
Because you didn't tell them.
No, I don't have an ego. I don't tell people what I do. I just want to be the atmosphere.
I don't have an ego. I just want to be omnipresent.
I told her just throughout the earth, not throughout the universe.
Okay.
So I told her, so she's like, we were watching one of your episodes where you ate something, fill in the blank, whatever. And my kids were like, ooh, it's so gross, can you believe they do that? And she was like, and she's like a former actress, so she's kind of done the show business thing. She was like, guys, this is entertainment. They're not actually eating that. She got into an argument with her kids about whether or not we actually eat the things that we eat. She was like, they don't have to. Think about it. They don't have to eat the things because the people watching can't smell it. They can't see it. You guys could probably retch things up on command, right? And I was like, we couldn't get away with that. It's all real, and she still doesn't believe me.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, maybe she's on to something.
I was like, yeah, right. Exactly. I was like,
we do it, y'all. We go all the way.
yeah. The difference, and I think that's the difference between traditional entertainment and entertainment, is that I'm obviously some people fake internet videos. That does happen, right? But
No.
But it never crossed our minds that we wouldn't actually do it for real. But I think you guys would know if we weren't doing it for real. I think you'd pick up on it.
Well, I have to bring all of my acting efforts together and bundle it up and save it for
the summer
when we do buddy system. I can't waste any acting ability on anything else.
Right. We don't have a whole lot to go around, so you have to concentrate it and spew it out during the summer.
Right. So then the rest of the year, I just legitimately spew stuff out.
Right.
Next question, shall we?
Yeah, this is from Chloe Blustery Link. Must be a fan of yours. How do you know?
She looks just like me in her,
yeah, she does.
Twitter icon.
How do you know when the wisest time is to risk stability in order to pursue a creative yet risky dream?
Risk is in this one twice. I don't know when to take a risk for a creative dream. Okay, so this is a serious one. Let's try to give a serious answer.
Let's get serious.
Well, I think for our experience was when we were presented with a specific opportunity that we felt like we couldn't say no to, then it was a foregone conclusion that we had to give up something, our current job, in order to take that new job opportunity. I mean, in retrospect, it wasn't the greatest opportunity ever, but without that, we wouldn't have gotten to where we are. That opportunity was hosting a show called Online Nation in 2007. And we knew that in order to fly out to LA every few weeks and shoot episodes of this show where we basically introduced internet videos, we were like Bob Saget on America's Funniest Home Videos, or
Tom Bergeron.
But now it's, who is it now? It's
Alfonso.
Carlton. We're basically Carlton Alfonso. For
You just
internet
went
videos.
through 3 generations of AFB hosts.
Yeah, we did.
I love it when that kind of thing happens.
And we were never in the running for any of them, but we were in the running for a rip-off version of it on the CW called Online Nation,
Right.
which only lasted a few weeks. But we didn't know that. We were like, we got to take this job. This is like the biggest opportunity we have. We have to actually be television hosts. It's still related to internet video, which is the thing we're trying to do. But we can't still do our current job, so we had to quit. So in our minds, it was a huge decision, but it wasn't one of those things. We didn't make the decision that I think a lot of people in LA make. It's like, okay, I want to move out in order to hopefully create an opportunity. And I respect everyone who makes those type of choices, whether it's entertainment related or whatever your dream may be. But for us, I think it was later. I mean, we had families, we had a lot of responsibility. We had a life that we were risking. So it took a lot more to put us over the edge.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say...
But it was a specific opportunity. It wasn't just a chance to create an opportunity.
Right, but I wouldn't say that it was necessarily wise. So I think that, honestly, I mean, taking a risk isn't always wise. I mean, sometimes the wisdom would be to just stay in whatever is going to take care of your family, but that's not always the best decision. I mean, we did something very practically. We weren't going to do something that ultimately put things at risk, but from just a complete stability and predictability standpoint, our lives would be more predictable and stable if we were still engineers. That's a fact. Right?
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that was the right thing to do. So I think that...
And we didn't have a solid plan B when we took the hosting job on Online Nation.
No.
Because, we saw the writing on the wall when we saw the show. We're like, this is going to get canned quick.
Yeah.
And it's not our fault.
It was very bad. Very, very bad. I think you can still find some of that on the internet. Don't search it. But
I think if you search Online Nation canceled, there was a video that we made afterward that basically encapsulates how we had to immediately start to figure out what we were doing.
But I don't think it's always the wisest decision. I think there's sometimes that you put yourself in a situation where you know it's what you want to do. It's not. We're not saying whether it's right or wrong. It's just like, I feel like I am made to do this. This is a great opportunity. I want to do this. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's wise. It still may be the thing that you should do. But there's a lot of people who make those kinds of decisions. In fact, the majority of people who make decisions to drop one thing to pursue a risky dream, by definition, don't succeed at it because it's a risky dream. That's what makes it risky.
But it should be a calculated risk, and you should calculate. I guess that's part of the advice, is calculate as much as you can.
What if you don't know how to do math?
Well, then
you're screwed.
Ways that you want it to be different in season one, but not in any of the ways you don't want it to be different than season one. You want it to be longer. Each episode is longer. But you want it to still have a musical number in each episode? Yes, it's still going to have a song in every episode. You want me to still be in it? Boom.
If the two of us had never met as kids.
But met as adults. So we still meet. So don't worry, we still meet.
Does that sound exciting?
But the thing that was exciting for us in writing it, if I just focus on like the conceptualization part of this thing, was first of all, when you have longer episodes, you're able to write more of a cohesive story. So each episode is its own journey. I mean, it's episodic in that way. But then when you look at the entire series, it really is about the journey of our friendship. It's starting from not having one to wherever it ends up, and it's not a linear path.
Right.
And I really enjoyed kind of digging into writing the relational dynamics between the two of us. I think we were able to dig into that a whole lot more. So it wasn't just about, wouldn't it be funny if the two of us did this and then did this and did this, but wouldn't it be interesting if we had conflict in this way, or if we encountered this problem in this way?
Right, because in season one, it was the two of us solving one problem together, and in a lot of ways you could almost interchange. You could take those two and just dissolve them into one character, and you could tell the same story. That's definitely not the case in season two, where it's very much about there being conflict and resolution and the building of a friendship between the two of us. And we actually brought in, for a number of reasons. One reason was, we wrote every bit of season one ourselves to kind of establish the template of what buddy system was going to be. For season 2, going to 22-minute episodes, it's like about 250, 260 pages of script, which with everything that we have going on, we can't do that. So we actually brought in some experienced showrunners and writers to work with us, and Link and I sort of conceptualized the show and what was going to happen, but they had some experience with helping us find the conflict and find those moments that I don't think typically we would have written, because we just are like, what's funny? This is funny.
And that's something that they didn't. That's something that happened in the room with us.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
But they helped. They were there. Okay, so what now? Why would you be mad? And a lot of it was based on things that are true about us. But the interesting thing is, because we are who we are because we met when we were 6 years old. In a lot of ways, our personalities and exactly, obviously what we're doing for a living is very much based on the fact that we met as kids. But it's also, whether it's your best friend or your spouse or a good friend or your family, they shape who you are.
Yeah.
And if you were raised in a different place, you would be a significantly different person. So we are kind of exploring one of the fun things about season 2 is like, what would Link be like if he never met me? Some of the ways that I feel like I temper him, and vice versa, the way that Link tempers me. So I think we're, in one sense,
or make each other better. I mean, temper. So it's like, what are our flaws as people? That, again, back to that point before, when you gotta have people in your life that'll tell you like it is. I mean,
but if we were left to our own devices,
right?
That's really what season 2 is about, and there's a lot of humor that comes out of that. And there's a mustache too.
Yeah, I would have a mustache if we were not friends.
Right. And I would have I think, is it in the BTS video today? A man bun, yeah, I have a man bun. I'm sorry. Not because the Link is cool, it's because I think I might have one if I never met Link.
So it was fun to explore that. So I think as you watch Buddy System Season 2, there's a lot to learn about what we think we could have been if it wasn't for our friendship, and also a commentary on the other people that, it's a commentary on how people influence who you become, in a good way, to bring the best out in you.
You're going to cry.
But you're mostly going to laugh.
Yeah, you're going to laugh more than you cry.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, what does that mean? So like how do you offer like a positive? It's not hard to be respectful and say, I disagree with you for these reasons, right? And come at it with the benefit of the doubt that you're coming where you're truly trying to intellectually have a conversation with somebody else, right? I feel like I get a lot of folks who say, well, what's the difference? Like, how do you draw the line? Where is it? And I'm like, I think it should be pretty clear what's harassment. Like, if you're like, hey, what you said was dumb, you stupid bitch, like, that's harassment. If you said, I disagree with your points because there's this example in X, Y, and Z or what have you, that could be better. I will just add, not to take up too much space, but I will just add that I think a lot of times, I think that harassment is much broader than you defined it. Because harassment isn't only just threats. A lot of the stuff that's the most exhausting is the daily grind that is being thrown at you of either comments about your appearance, comments about, things that are not related to your work, conspiracy theories that are made up about you, just the day-to-day stuff that isn't necessarily actionable, but is just exhausting because it's people who are coming at you with bad faith. So there are folks who come to me and say, you're wrong for these reasons, but it's like 500 people that looked at one video that one person made online that is not coming at me with good faith, trying to attack what I'm doing, but it's not because they actually watched my video, it's because they watched somebody else's video about my video.
I want to make sure that when I talk about cyberbullying, I mostly focus on the worst of it for me personally, but I think it's so important that we remember that pain is a relative thing. My worst day may have very different details than somebody else's worst day, but that doesn't make it any less that person's worst day, right? And I think it's also important to remember that perception is 9/10 of reality. And so whatever I personally perceive as being real can be very real to me. And so I think it really does come down to a personal level of tolerance and a personal level of ability to handle abuse. And unfortunately, I am very versed in handling abuse, having the first 20 years of my life been nothing but that. So I think often my view can be skewed because I have such an incredibly high tolerance level. Not everyone's going to feel that way, and I think when you are critiquing somebody, when you're commenting on their work, I would try to keep that in mind. And I think if someone does, hey Boogie, I really like this story arc you're telling with Francis, but I didn't feel this video was one of your best ones. Good luck with the next one. Like, that means the world to me. That's not harassment to me. That's friendly critique. It's constructive criticism. But, hey, you fat fuck, kill yourself. Excuse my language. That does nothing for me. That just makes that 12-year-old feel very good. I can still endure it. Not everybody can.
Insulting and bullying them.
I think like the space that we work in is important to have critique and to go back and forth with ideas and things that we're doing. But I think that it's so interesting because I feel like we're part of a culture and a generation that like, I feel like I'm part of the last generation that remembers what life was before we all had personal computers and iPads. And so it's like, I feel like I'm constantly relearning how to communicate with other people and to adapt to that. And how do you have these conversations over these platforms that make you feel very connected to everyone all of the time, but connected to no one?
A smart-ass comment, like trying to be funny if someone's hating on me, or I just try to ignore it completely. One time I made a reading mean comments video while drunk, and I actually was crying laughing because it was so funny. So I do try to kind of make a joke out of a lot of hate that I get, and use the hate to hopefully entertain other people. And I don't know, cyberbullying sucks overall, but I don't know, I think I've just kind of learned to try to ignore it for the most part and just try to explain to my viewers that it just doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, unless it's your mom or something. No one else's opinion really matters. So don't worry about it.
I don't have the time to go out and experience everything. A lot of times I try to learn as much as possible about a cause, or I may know about it already, but I'll still do research and I will dig and I will try to understand as much as possible. And through my voice, I can bring that understanding to people and hope that there will be a certain number of people that will dig even deeper, or have a personal connection, or will know what I'm talking about and know it better than I ever could. And through those connections, the community actually connects with itself, and it knits through each other, and then understanding can flow in the connection of the community.
I would totally echo what Mark says as well, and this would also be, advice that I would give to anyone who has a charitable organization or a nonprofit where you would like to have a way for audiences to feel connected with what's actually going on and how hard people are working day to day to contribute to these organizations, or what the people who benefit from the organizations are actually going through. We've had conversations with some fantastic organizations like St. Jude who are open to doing things like letting us actually visit their campus. And I don't know how much you guys know about St. Jude, but people know oh, it's a hospital, but it's so much beyond a hospital that you can't even imagine. It's like a home for people, and it looks nothing like a hospital, and they have these incredible programs, but you would never know unless you're actually there to learn about it and to be there firsthand and experience that, and then have a way to actually communicate it back to your audience. It makes such a big difference to get a little bit closer or to understand things firsthand. It changes your perspective completely.
I think what a lot of people don't understand, and especially having the background in nonprofit, a lot of people always look to companies like Make-A-Wish and entities to kind of make these events happen. But what people don't realize is 90% of the footwork is done by people who volunteer their time or volunteer any of their assets or any of their skills they have. When we have events, 95% of the people at the events setting up the stages and bringing in the porta potties were people who were volunteering their time because they believed in something. And and everybody always feels like a small number in a sea of people, but one person can make a difference. And if you truly feel passionate about that charity, all it takes is a little bit of your time. If you don't have money, the time helps too. And so if you're truly passionate about something, pursue that and help them, because 90% of that is you guys. So with that, I'm going to transition into what are you guys currently working on charity-wise with your audiences?
And it was a funny one. It was doing something for 24 hours. Now, a lot of people might know this, but it's actually fake. I'm not doing it for 24 hours, but that's part of the whole, it's a joke, right? YouTube videos are fake? What?
Oh no, it was all in the thumbnail, right?
So, exactly, right? And about the timestamp, because you see it's 24 hours. So I started it as an April Fool's joke, and then I realized, like, the video got a crazy amount of views. So I was like, okay, you know what, why don't I do something like this, but then I do it for charity? Because I know it's most likely going to get a lot of views too. So actually the last one I did was spinning a fidget spinner for 24 hours. And it's like those little things which are funny, and you know, people will watch it a little bit, they'll have a laugh, and then at the start of the video, like we pick a charity and we talk about it, and obviously all the revenue made from the video goes to that charity. But it's those type of things I like to do, and we're currently working on another one. And once again, all for charity, and I think a lot of people always say, yeah, but you know, these people, they cannot donate money or anything, but what a lot of people should understand, that it's mainly about awareness. And I think that's the most important thing, because it reaches such a big audience that everybody is informed about.
It's kind of like utilizing the viral nature of YouTube to like, oh, that's why that happened.
Exactly. And I always say, if you can't donate $1 or whatever, just pay for it. That's the best. That's the best.
Weirdest thing in the world, or perhaps a haiku about croissants.
I think my favorite is what everybody. It like feels like a fish. I like when you do the. That's a fish making you very small.
Okay, a group question. Anybody answer that feels delicious? Which of you is the most different from the character that is on screens in real life?
Oh, Chrissy.
Yeah. As you can see, I don't have an accent. So we'll
Well,
start
no,
with
but
that.
BS. But Flo is always like, everything's awful, it's the end of the world. And Chrissy's very like, it's gonna be fine, guys. And I'm like, shut up, Chrissy. Yeah.
Hello, Bargain Bellas. Let's get one thing out of the way right away. Can we just admit that DSM won the finals in pitch perfect?
Yeah.
See you! I am so excited to see PP3. You guys have reunited. How does it feel to be reunited? Is that the word? United?
Yeah.
Sweet. Chrissy, how does it feel? One of your favorite scenes when you think back on the first two, you're like, oh, that reminds me of tasty brownies in the nighttime.
I really enjoyed Becca and Chloe's moments together. And we had a special shower moment, and then we had a special almost upside down kiss moment. And in the third movie, I don't know actually, the director's sitting in the audience, so you can ask her if it
aggressive. Will they, won't they thing.
What does that mean when you say will they, won't they? What does that mean?
We should talk about it later.
Okay, cool. Sweet DM me, is that what you do?
The bees is the whole thing.
Oh, and the flowers and the trees. I love it. We are learning everything tonight, guys. VidCon, this is the cast of Pittsburgh! Yeah. Hey, y'all better pipe up. One more time. Come on, y'all. Hey, so we go by A1 Tail. These are bros, the future kings. The top that you see, that's Day-Day. Right here. This is Day-Day. This is Roy. This is Kumo. And we're the friendship bros, man. Lock that in. Railway, the friendship way. Yeah. And then we love y'all. Yeah.